like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and leave me a comment. Without further ado,
hey kids, it's Hyperdellic, and today we got something spooky. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, because it's spooky time, right? The Unpleasant Dreams version for her 40th anniversary as Elvira. I gotta admit, some of my first boyhood becoming man, moments definitely were spent watching Elvira. I'm not gonna get crude or gross, but I think a lot of us grew up with checking out Elvira and going, oh, good Lord. I don't even think I was well aware of myself enough to know what was going on. I just knew she was boobalicious and she was funny, right? Because Elvira had a million one-liners. And I don't know if anybody else realizes this or not, but Elvira is the queen of dad jokes. She is. She's got some of the punniest, crazy dad jokes I've ever heard. It makes me like her even more. I love it. It's kind of awesome. I was just recently watching Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, which is, it's not an Academy Award-winning movie, but it's phenomenal. Especially if you grew up watching, cheesy B-class, horror movies like I did. Elvira, Son of Svengoolie, shout out to Rich Coes. And I gotta say, I passed on her a couple of times just because I was like, maybe I'll wait until Halloween. And then I had to go buy some equipment from freaking Best Buy, and there she was, staring me right in the face, and I was like, well, I can't keep passing up on this. So I had to get it. Had to. Elvira is just one of those, one of those icons of, pop culture that I don't think anybody dislikes, right? There's something about Elvira that everybody admires. And I mean, she's gorgeous. She was a hottie in the 80s. She's like 70-something now, and she's still a hottie. It's crazy. Elvira, if you're watching this, shout out, boo. Shout out. But without any more punniness or further ado, I'm going to rip into this. Gently. I'm going to take my time. Savor it. All right, kids. I'll see you on the other side of this translation. All right, and there's our girl. Whew, that is gotta be the sexiest NECA figure I have ever purchased. I mean, what else can I say? There is one issue that I have with this figure. One, and one only. And we'll see if you guys can figure it out by the time I'm done with my close-up. If you're a true Elvira fan, you're already griping about it. Okay? If you are a true Elvira fan, it is already in your head going, I bet you I know what Hyperdellic's talking about. But we'll see. We'll see if you figure it out. She comes with a few accessories. One is the knife that goes into her little waistband holster. This has shown up in plenty of her shows and in the movies. She's always got it. One of the other accessories is this goblet with ghostly fumes coming out of it. I want to say it's from Mistress of the Dark. And then there's also this creepy skull thing. Also, I believe, is from the movie Mistress of the Dark. All of those accessories are fantastic. She also comes with a second head that has kind of an action-y, pose. I tried putting it on her, and without warming it up, it's very difficult to get on. So I'm going to probably put it on her later, but for the sake of the review, I'm going to stick with the classic look of Elvira right there. Because, I mean, I feel as though NECA nailed her. But she would like that one. I feel like that's one that would have been in her one of her movies, or something that she wrote. Because not only does she do a lot of dad joke puns, but it's usually kind of sexual in nature, like the one where the one kid's dad at the end of Mistress of the Dark goes, "You've touched my son in places no one ever has," and the kid's like, "I wish." Like, it's just funny. It's so stupid, but it's great, and she's fantastic. Like, and then she's like, yeah. She like winks and gives him a smile. You know. Actually, there's two issues. The other issue is Elvira has a better gadonk than that, and I'm a little disappointed in what NECA gave her. I know she's thin as a rail and all, but listen. I've checked out Elvira plenty. She's got a juicy booty. So they did not do her justice in the booty department. But overall, everything else I think is fantastic. And I think that when we do a close-up on her, you're gonna see some phenomenal details. So I mean, let's get ready to do that now. Look at that face. Man, I'm telling you, NECA did justice to this Elvira. She's gorgeous. Now, I'm not, the beehive thing ain't my thing, but it's very iconic Elvira. It's very iconic Elvira. And that face sculpt is just amazing. She has also the most amazing set of eyes that I've ever seen. Honestly, the face painting is incredible. There's a lot of other incredible parts to her too. While we're zoomed in, I want to bring her skull candelabra in here and just show you the detail that they put into this thing. It's just a little, like, you know, molded piece that you set off to the side, but it looks great. Like, they did an outstanding job all around, 360. Like, they did a wonderful paint job on it. NECA usually does. NECA puts a lot of care and attention into their figures, and that's one of the things that I love about NECA. They do have some very decent quality, not crazy premium, you know, like 3.0 or freaking Hot Toys, you know. These are accessible, right? What do I always talk about? Accessible action figures. And it's phenomenal. Like, she's hot. Like, she's super hot. Like, they did a great job on this. Like, the figure gives me the same feels as watching Elvira used to when I was a kid. And I'm gonna say this much, because I need to mention this about the actress Cassandra Peterson that plays Elvira, and the fact that she did do nude modeling, but she never ever did nude modeling as Elvira. She always kept that as something that was still acceptable for younger viewers. Maybe not little kids, but definitely teenagers, you know? There's some sexual innuendos here and there that teenagers are gonna get, but it's not too racy where it's like, oh, that's just disgusting, right? And I think that speaks to her integrity. I think that she put a lot of work into the character Elvira, and she made sure that there was great branding around her. Cassandra Peterson actually started out as an actress in Italy. She went out there just, you know, for a few years. She was in some Italian movies, and she was actually an Italian rock star for a while too. She was in an Italian rock band, and then she eventually moved to no, that's a different, you know, spooky, you know, TV host. She moved to LA, and when she moved to LA, she auditioned for a part in a spooky movie TV host, and Elvira was born. And since then, she's been in a slew of TV shows. She's been in a bunch of movies as Elvira. She's made 2 movies that are Elvira movies, starring her as Elvira. And I mean, I guess most recently she did a season, or maybe 2. I think it was just 1 season on Netflix, doing like spooky movies. And I mean, she's great. Like, it's like I said, like, Mistress of the Dark wasn't going to win any Academy Awards, but it's such an entertaining movie to watch, and it's so funny, like in like a pun wise way. Like, she's a great actress at what you know, her genre and what she's trying to do. Like, there are some hilarious moments in her movies that are just like, oh wow, like, she knows herself, you know, and she knows what her character is supposed to represent, and she goes with it. I think it's great. I think that she is a strong female figure, and you know, as an actress, I think she's an excellent female role model. Granted, some people might consider her material a little too racy, but I also think that she was brave and bold and went there. People could have sat there and just kept calling her a slut and a whore and all of this stuff, And in the movies that she's in, she makes all those jokes that people do. But she was bold enough to do it, and I give her credit for it. I think that's phenomenal. I think that a lot of women can take some serious pointers from Cassandra Peterson. And you know, people who love the horror genre, how can you not love Elvira, right? I mean, she's just one of the originals. Now, we're gonna start here with this head sculpt, and the head sculpt is amazing, amazing. If we'll go all the way around, and we'll see. It doesn't provide for a lot of head articulation, but as you can see, she does have some decent movement. A heat gun could help help get the hair to lay the proper way, or you can just leave it for a little while, and eventually it will get to laying where how you pose her, and it'll lay flat. But a heat gun or a blow dryer is one of the best ways to go about it. I would not recommend hot water with this figure, just because of the detail of the paint applications. Jeez, sorry. Well, as you can see, she does not have nipples. Here it is. And her dress keeps wanting to move on me. I may have to like tack that down or something like that, just to keep it like exactly where I want it to be. But if you go around, like the detail on the neck, the paint, it's very lovely. Like it accentuates her facial features, her high cheekbones and all of that. And the neck, like she was, like I said, she was thin as a rail. Gorgeous. I usually like my ladies with a little bit more meat on her, but I mean, she made up for it with those things. Now, we'll show off this cup as well, since we're doing some close-ups. This is a cool looking cup. It looks like it's comprised of like a bunch of skulls going all the way around. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm seeing, is like a continuous set of skull faces. I could be wrong, but yeah, that's great. Now, they definitely gave her the appropriate bust, although this should probably sit a little bit lower. If it's, I mean, if we're going true to look for Elvira, the V should plunge a little lower. I'm just saying, that would be accurate. She has some fairly decent articulation. Like, you can T-pose her out. You know, the arms are really good. Although she is kind of skinny, right? So over time, that plastic is going to get brittle. So I would say find some poses that you love and keep her there. The cloth goods dress is fantastic. I love it. I think it's great that they went with cloth goods, or soft goods and cloth. I appreciate it a lot. When you come down, she has double jointed elbows, right? Let's see if we can show you. Yep, there you go. Double jointed elbows with pins. Okay, and then when you come up here, she's got a cool little like loose her metal studded bracelets. Although the other one is just kind of a thinner one. It's not metal studded. I want to say Haunted Hills. She had that thinner one, and in Mistress of the Dark, she had two that were like this. So I feel like that might be a miss. I mean, those of you that are looking for movie accuracy, well, you know, it's not perfect. Now we're moving down, and she's got her dagger. The dagger seems to want to keep bending on me a little. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna put it in the opposite direction, and well, that doesn't look right either now, because now you can't see the jewel on it. She also does not have. Oh man, I think I just. It's perfect. No, it's okay. Actually, that looks like it's made so that it can sit on there, but it's bent a little bit. I'm gonna have to like work at that with a heat gun. And like I said, her dress wants to keep veering towards the left, or well, I mean, I guess her right. But that's good. It's okay. I'm not trying to be a perv here, but they gave her sexy underwear. Right? They gave her sexy underwear because I mean, in the Mistress of the Dark movie, she had sexy underwear on in one scene. I believe it was a dream sequence. I can't remember exactly, but and then we come down. The legs are a hip cut, very reminiscent of what NECA usually does. she can do pretty perfect splits. Right? Those legs go all the way out. And she can do that far forward. And she only goes about that far back. She has single jointed knees. So don't try and do no butt kick, right? No boot cut or anything like that. And the ankle articulates, but not a crazy amount, okay? Also keep in mind, her nylons are painted on, okay? So the more you action it, the more that's gonna wear down. When we come down to her shoes, and them's is fabulous. She has peg holes on her shoes, and she did come with a stand, and it has her signature on it. This is a much better stand than what you usually get with NECA with McFarlane figures. So appreciate Uncle Todd. Take some notes. Now we're gonna get down to the other two parts that upset me a little. One, she does not have much of a booty in this cloth good dress. In any of the movies, she has definitely, and any time you've ever seen her turn around or anything like that, she's got way better of a backside than this profile is giving her. The other issue that I have, and let's see if you guys figured it out, the slit in the dress is too low. It's supposed to be like almost up here. It's almost at the panty line, right? So that kind of upsets me, because that's one of the things that always got me about Elvira. You know, I'm a leg man, and man, she always was showing off them sexy stems. We'll come in close on the hands, because I kind of forgot to really show those, but she's got painted fingernails. They're black, like she usually has. And she does have the ring from Mistress of the Dark. So that's good. That's cool. I like that. And then the bottom of the dress has like that nice, cool, you know, fringy look to it. It's all like when you put her on the stand and you put the little skull dude next to her and you pose her out, it is phenomenal. And I think that all in all, she's probably one of my favorite NECA figures right now. And I've got some pretty good ones. I've got like King Kong. I've got, I had a RoboCop. I got rid of it though. I wasn't impressed with the RoboCop. But I've got like Gremlins, and I've got a bunch of Dungeons and Dragons figures, and those were all my favorites. But she's phenomenal. I wish I hadn't waited on her, but I'm glad that I'm doing it for you guys right now during Spooky Chat. So there she is in all of her Elvira-ish glory. I think we should maybe do a couple of photos with her now. Huh? What do you think? Huh? All right, let's do it. Final thoughts. I'm gonna give this figure a 9.9. I know some of you were like, get out of here, cut it out, just give her the 10. She in real life is a 10. She's a dime. But you know, they didn't do the butt right, and they didn't get the hip cut right there. You know, the dress cut right. I don't know if they were just trying to be modest or something, or I don't know, but you know, those are a couple of details that real Elvira fans are going to notice and go, hey, what the heck? Right? Like, there's plenty of scenes in movies where she shows off her butt, and they could have done better. I don't know. I got to assume that Cassandra Peterson had to sign off on it and say, yeah, I like this. So, I mean, I guess, you know, they did her properly the way that she would want her, you know, her figure done. I mean, it's such a good figure. It is. It's a really good figure. If you're a spooky horror fan, it's great. She's phenomenal. Her articulation is good. I'm not going to say it's the best articulation ever, but how much actioning are you going to have Elvira do? Is she going to be like ninja kicking people and stuff? I mean, probably not. Although she did like wind up as Rambo kinda in Mistress of the Dark, which was It was pretty funny. Like, it's like I say, like, she's funny. She's a very entertaining person. Like, she knows her audience, and she knows what they would consider great. And I think I love her for it. You know, it's fantastic. She is one of my favorite entertainers of all time. One other thing that I think I would be amiss to mention is that she had a very, very good relationship and friendship with the late Vincent Price. And I love that little tidbit of, you know, horror movie knowledge. I love that, you know, she befriended him and they were, you know, they were just buddies. She even dedicated her last movie to him. So I think that that's phenomenal. I think that Elvira is the first of several horror figures that I'm probably going to try to collect. I mean, I've got Gremlins and I've got Aliens, but I don't know if I really consider them horror. I think they're more sci-fi-ish than horror, especially like the spooky horror. I've also got a reaction figure of Svengoolie coming. Yes, that's Svengoolie. Come on, you gotta love Rich Goes. And if you don't know who Svengoolie is, look him up, watch some of his stuff. He's like the male version of Elvira, only a little bit more wacky, I think, and definitely not as sexy. Although, Rich Goes, you're a sexy man. Oh my god, hope I don't get slapped with anything by him. But Elvira is beautiful. The figure is done very well. She's phenomenal. I am proud to have this as part of my collection. I'm sure I'm gonna display her prominently in my house every Halloween, but in the meantime, there's gonna be a new horror shelf in my toy room, and she's going to light it up. I admire Elvira for her career, for all of the work that she's done. She's a wonderful person to her fans. I've never heard a bad story about Elvira, not once, right? And I've seen her do lots of, you know, crossovers. She does conventions constantly. She's just an all-around really, really cool person. Somebody you would love to go and have a drink with. And it doesn't have to be anything other than, bro, you are awesome. You know, because that's what I would be like. I would just be fawning over her just because she's got such a talented career. It's not just the boobs. Those boobs are fantastic, but you know, that's not everything. All right, so they're fantastic. But I've seen her, you know, when she's not dressed up as Elvira, and she's usually pretty modestly dressed. And you know, she's gorgeous. She's a very lovely lady. Again, like I said, I give her tons of credit for being a strong female, like, role model. I mean, she is. She's not gross or horribly disgusting in her humor. She's a little on the racy side. I would say these days, she's a lot tamer than a lot of what you see on TV. And she does it for entertainment's sake and for funniness. I mean, I'm sure it was definitely like, oh, I'm gonna get these teenagers to love me. You know, I'm sure there was some of that. But every entertainer does that. I mean, if showing my boobs on camera would get more views, I would do it. But I'm pretty sure if I showed my boobs on camera, I would lose all of my subscribers. So we're not going to do that, kids. We're not going to do that at all. But I guess I'm just going to say, like, I would recommend picking up an Elvira figure. If you are a spooky time fan and you love the old B movies, you know, the cheesy horror flicks, you're going to love this. It's going to be something you're proud to have. And man, if I ever find out that Elvira is coming to town, I'm definitely going to try and get her to sign the box. I'm keeping it too. I mean, I like the display art, so I'm very happy. I'm not going to try and do Elvira's voice because that'll be weird. But I just want to tell you guys that you can now become a member of my channel, and you can, you know, if I ever go live, you can throw me a super chat and stuff like that. And when you become a member, you get, like, you know, special perks. I don't have any like special member stuff out there yet, but if there's anything that you guys would like to see as far as special member perks, hit me up. Oh, hi kitty. My kitty is bothering me right now. She's attention hungry. She says I've spent too much time with Elvira and not enough time with her. So sorry, Elvira. Kitty's got to come next, because otherwise she's going to start peeing on things in the house, and nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. She's my familiar, I guess. All right, well, this has been Hyperdellic. with Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Ooh, spooky, right? Saying, I love you guys all. Thank you for watching this review. And remember to like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you get to see all of my hijinks anytime I throw my hijinks up there. Hijinks. See, I said it 3 times, now it's meaningless. All right, kids, remember to play and play spooky. Woo!